Global grants fund large international humanitarian projects, scholarships, and vocational training teams that have sustainable results and measurable results in one or more of Rotary's areas of focus. The minimum budget for a global grant is $30,000. The maximum World Fund match is $400,000. Global grants support sustainable projects that have measurable and lasting outcomes and are aligned with at least one area of focus: peace building and conflict resolution, disease prevention and treatment, water, sanitation and hygiene, maternal health and child health, basic education and literacy, community and economic development, and the environment. You want to make sure that you understand each area of focus and how you can plan related activities that build successful grant projects. When Rotary Foundation staff members review your grant application, they will use the areas of focus policy statements to determine whether or not a project is eligible for a grant. These are examples of global grants that have been sponsored by District 7570 or clubs in the district. Grants are most often in other countries, but they can also be in the U.S., such as a mobile vision health clinic project that was in Southwest Virginia, Northeast Tennessee, or the opioid abuse prevention grant that was in Northwest Virginia. Grant projects provided in other countries such as Uganda, Honduras, Malawi, Ecuador, Peru, Ghana, and Brazil are just some examples of where clubs in our district have done projects. In 2022-23, the Rotary Foundation approved 1,092 global grants, and they awarded $55 million to fund these projects. You can see the breakdown between areas of focus, with disease prevention and treatment having the largest number of grants approved at 479, with awards of $31.4 million. And then second was water, sanitation, and hygiene, with 162 awards at $12.3 million. And all of our areas of focus, all 7 areas, were represented by grant awards in 22-23. How do you qualify for a global grant? One is you complete a grant management seminar, complete the club qualification memorandum of understanding, or MOU as it's often referred to. And then you would need to agree to any additional qualification requirements set by the district. A minimum of 1 representative from your club must participate in the grant management seminar. Today's session will also be on the district website for any clubs that could not attend. And for those who watch online, we're asking those people to provide their name and their club's name to Mike Quillen so that the club status can be updated. Also, grant management training materials are also available in Rotary's Learning Center. For Rotary, sustainability means providing long-term solutions to community problems that community members themselves can support after grant funding ends. What are the steps to make a sustainable impact? Begins with working with the community. You'll want to start with the community needs assessment. Bring together community members and organizations to discuss strengths and needs, identify resources, the skills, capacities, and local priorities of the community. Encourage local ownership. Community members should embrace the project and advocate for lasting improvements. You'll also want to provide training because training strengthens the community's ability to meet project objectives. A project's success depends on people knowing how to take care and how to take over the project once the funding is gone. And buy local. Purchase equipment and technology from local sources whenever it's possible. For example, this ensures spare parts are available locally. Ideally, you'll want to provide training so that community members can operate, maintain, and repair equipment on their own. And then you'll want to find local funding because this integrates your project into the local community and supports your project's long-term success. And of course, we want to measure our success, develop clear and measurable outcomes, and determine how you will collect your data. Budget and fundraising are a part of the grant process. You'll create a financial plan to help manage funds, provide oversight, promote transparency, and reduce errors and any misuse of funds. And when you develop your budget, take into account the goals of the project and the fundraising resources by sponsors. Sponsors can finance global projects and activities with district designated funds. And the great thing about these funds are they're matched 80% by the World Fund. Rotary member cash contributions are outright gifts to the Rotary Foundation from Rotary members are funds raised by Rotary members. Or you can have non-member cash contributions, donations to the project account or to the Rotary Foundation from other organizations or parties, not including your cooperating organizations or beneficiaries of the project. And then you can also have directed gifts and endowment earnings. Use the Global Grant Monitoring and Evaluation Plan Supplement to find measurable data points and develop your evaluation plan, which you'll include in your grant application. Your plan should establish clear project goals, identify applicable Rotary Foundation standard measures, identify additional project-specific measures, establish baseline data, and use the methods that you will use to collect that data. And you'll submit the plan as part of the online application. Collect data during the project and monitor the progress. You'll evaluate and submit results to the online report and modify your documentation to include actual results. And the two documents that are shown there are helpful in having the information that you'll need in order to complete this part of the information. You'll monitor your project from start to finish. This keeps the project on track by reminding everyone of its desired impact and checking the activities taking place are resulting in measurable progress toward that goal. And when problems are discovered, you can resolve them quickly, learn from them, and adjust your approach to the rest of the project. Within the grant application, you're going to be asked to describe the project's objectives, your project's activities, the project plan and the schedule, the community needs, the areas of focus, the cooperating organizations and partners, volunteer travel, Rotary member participation, the project budget, financing, sustainability, and the monitoring and the evaluation plan. Applications are not reviewed until they're complete, so be sure to provide all the necessary information about your project. Make sure your project plan is clear by asking someone who is not involved in the project to read your application before you submit it. This extra step will ultimately save you time and effort. There are deadlines you must meet when applying for a grant application. Your first step online is to open your grant. And this would be a draft form. And you, or at least I recommend that you have a lot of your work done before you actually open your application online. Once you open your grant application, you have 12 months to complete the application. And during this time, you would have your district and leaders authorize the grant application. Now, if it's not submitted within 12 months after it started, then your grant will be canceled. So you have a 12-month period to complete everything and then submit your grant application to the Rotary Foundation. Once it's submitted, it will be reviewed. And if there are issues, you'll be notified and you can provide additional information. If a grant application isn't completed and approved within 6 months after it's submitted, it will be canceled. Once your application is approved, then the Rotary Foundation issues payment. If grant activities aren't implemented within 12 months of payment, the grant will be canceled and the sponsors will be required to return the funds. Reports are due annually during your grant while it's open. A final report is due within 2 months of project completion. The Grant Center is the place to go for everything you need to do online for your Rotary Foundation grants, and it keeps all of Rotary's grant-related resources handy for you. Once you go onto My Rotary, you can see the Participate, which will bring you to the Grant Center. And once you select the Grant Center, then you'll be taken to the Grant Center where you can apply for a grant, but you can also find a list of resources, which is shown in the right-hand corner of the Grant Center. And I think there are about 24 resources there to help you booklets, forms, all the information that you're going to need, depending on what type of grant that you're going to do. In addition to the area of focus policy statements, there are three important resources that you should begin with. One is the Guide to Global Grants, and two is the Terms and Conditions for the Rotary Foundation Global Grants. And then the third is the Rotary Qualification MOU or Memorandum of Understanding. The Guide to Global Grants and the Terms and Conditions are located in the resources on the Rotary Foundation Global Grant site. Your club's MOU is available through the district or on the district website. And remember, the MOU is an agreement between your club and district that outlines the foundation's minimum requirements for managing your grants. There are other resources available to help you as well. You can take courses on Rotary grants in the Learning Center. There's a section for the Rotary Foundation, and it includes many training sessions. I have two shown here with the Grant Management Recertification and Grant Management Seminar. There are others such as Areas of Focus training, and these are helpful as well. It'll take you through the process and test your knowledge of understanding the information. Sometimes clubs know the country or community where they would like to do a project, maybe because they visited the community or they have contacts with organizations who also serve the community. But many times clubs are interested in doing global grants, but they're not sure where to start, maybe what kind of project to do or what country, or maybe how do they find a partner in a different country. Where there are resources available to help you, and they're listed here that can help you narrow down a country, a project, or an area of focus that you may be interested in. So please use any of these resources to help you narrow down what you would like to do if you're not already aware or know the type of project or the country, or help in locating a partner. You should also consult with others. There are a lot of people to help you during your project or during your grant process. Members of the District International Service Committee, and those are listed there. Members of the District Resource Network, and you have some names listed there as well. And there are also Rotary Foundation contacts that you will be working with once you start your grant, some of these, but they're also available to answer questions. Make sure that your grant is eligible before you write your application. You can ask your regional grants officer to review it and offer recommendations. It'll save you time and effort. Areas of focus managers also provide support and guidance for Rotarians in the 7 areas of focus. Managers are available for consultation about project design, new initiatives, and grants. We've also found it helpful to have a project summary, a one-page summary that tells about your project. Doesn't take a lot of time to read. It's very simple, but it will help you in many ways to share news about your project. Your one-page summary should include the name of the project and your global grant number. Once you open your grant online in draft form, you'll receive a global grant number. If you have photographs from the community or the area where you want to do your grant, then you can include those as well. You'll want to describe the community to be served, its needs, and how the project will address them. You'll also want to identify your host club and provide an overview of the budget, provide contact information. And if you'll submit this to the District International Service Chair, who is Mike Quillen, he can put this on the district website, which will provide exposure for your potential project and may generate some interest from other clubs. The one-page summary is a good go-to resource that can be used for PR efforts, news releases, flyers, brochures, or fundraising, and will help you explain your project to other people. If your grant doesn't meet global grant requirements, your regional grants officer will explain why and suggest the changes you would need to make to meet them. Now, if you and your partner club can't make these changes, your project will not be eligible for global grant funding. Grant applications are most often denied because project doesn't fit any of the Rotary's areas of focus. The project has a high risk of failure and isn't sustainable. The project benefits another organization's programs, or a community assessment was not conducted. Your project must have a long-term sustainable impact, include activities that align with the goals of one of Rotary's areas of focus, have a minimum budget of $30,000, address an important need identified by the community, strengthen the community's capacity to address its own needs. And you must qualify your club for global grants every year, actively involve the benefiting community in the project, partner with a club in another country. That would make a host club and an international club, with you being the international club. Act as a primary sponsor of no more than 10 active global grants at a time. Develop a plan that includes a budget and a financial management plan. Apply for a grant through the Grant Center. And stay up to date in reporting for all active grants. And remember, for humanitarian projects and those that involve vocational training teams, you must conduct a community assessment before applying and include the results in your application and measure progress toward the outcome. Global grants take quite a bit of work and research, and you need to be patient and persistent. Reach out to people who've had experience or those who can help you to make your job a little bit easier.